Sometimes justice doesn't come from the courts. Sometimes it begins with a whisper. This is a true story of a town, a secret, and the thing that brought a killer to justice after years of silence. Nestled deep in upstate Vermont, the town of Grey Ridge was the kind of place you only find on a map if you were really looking. With a population of just over 2,000, Grey Ridge hadn't seen a single violent crime in over 30 years. That was until Linda Marshall vanished in the fall of 2012. Linda was 27, a school teacher, loved by everyone. One moment she was grading papers at the local café, the next gone. No witnesses, no leads. Her car was still parked out front, engine still warm, her handbag untouched, but she never came home. The Grey Ridge Police, led by Chief Don Merrick, launched a full-scale search. For weeks, every forest trail, every creek, every abandoned shed was combed through. Locals volunteered. TV crews came and went, but Linda had vanished without a trace. Eventually, the town went quiet again. Candles were lit. Ribbons were tied to fences. But over time, the community moved on. Officially, Linda was labeled missing. Unofficially, most believed she was dead. Fast forward to 2019, 7 years later. The old high school was being renovated. Among the workers was a retired janitor named Mark Hoth, a quiet man in his 60s who had worked at the school since the 1980s. One night, Mark suffered a stroke at home. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, but he didn't make it. When authorities entered his house to notify Next of Kin, they found something unexpected in his basement. A locked cabinet filled with dozens of cassette tapes. Each tape was labeled with dates and names, but one in particular stood out. October 15th Confession, DH. The tape was handed over to police, who dusted off an old player and hit play. What they heard left them speechless. A young man's voice, clearly nervous, was whispering into the recorder. "I didn't mean to. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. She wasn't supposed to scream." The voice continued, describing how he had followed Linda out of the cave, tried to talk to her, how she panicked when he grabbed her arm, and how he pushed her accidentally down a ravine. She didn't get up. The name on the tape was a partial, just the initials, DH. But in a town as small as Grey Ridge, there were only two people with those initials, and one of them was Deputy Daniel Hanks. Daniel Hanks had been a rising star in the Grey Ridge Police Department. Charming, respected, always first on the scene. But when the tape was played for Chief Merrick, something strange happened. He denied it, dismissed it, called it a prank. But investigators noticed something. The voice on the tape. It matched Deputy Hanks' speaking pattern almost perfectly, especially the way he pronounced certain words. DNA samples from the ravine Linda supposedly fell into were tested again, using advanced tech unavailable in 2012. This time, they found traces of skin cells, male, under her fingernails. And it was a match for Daniel Hanks. Turned out back in 2012, Mark the janitor had caught Daniel arguing with Linda behind the school. On the first night, she vanished. He had recorded it, then confronted Daniel days later. Scared of what might happen, Mark didn't go to the police. He told Dana to confess. Dana did, but only on tape, and only with Mark. He begged Mark not to release it, claiming it was an accident. Mark kept the tape, maybe for leverage, maybe out of guilt, maybe to protect the town. No one knows. But Chief Merrick did. Investigators discovered Merrick had visited Mark's home multiple times after 2012, always on, off the record, check scene, phone records, gas station receipts, and GPS data proved it. Merrick had known the truth and covered for his deputy. In April 2020, both Deputy Hanks and Chief Merrick were arrested. Hanks was charged with manslaughter, obstruction of justice, and abuse of power. Merrick was charged with evidence tampering, conspiracy, and aiding a felon. The tape was played during the trial. The courtroom was silent as Linda's voice echoed, pleading, screaming, then silence. Justice came late, but it came. Deputy Hanks was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Chief Merrick got 12 years. Mark Hoff, in death, became an unlikely hero. And Linda's body, it was finally found in a shallow grave near the ravine, exactly where the voice on the tape had said. Sometimes, the loudest lies are exposed by the quietest truth. One man, one tape, and one moment of courage finally gave Linda Marshall the justice she deserved. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more interesting stories.